on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You know who it is by now,
Jimothy.
Now, ladies and gents, I thought I would do another little discussion, as I kind of liked and enjoyed our discussion that we had last time out about elitism in Yu-Gi-Oh! So I thought I'd touch on another popular topic or subject, which is the upcoming ban list. So whilst I'm doing this, I thought that I would just actually go ahead and sleeve up my Trap Tricks deck, which is yet another deck I'm waiting to profile on the channel. I'm still waiting for one or two cards. So I thought I'd just go ahead and sleeve up the main deck whilst we talk about the ban list. So ladies and gents, the ban list, yes, it is the hot topic, and it's something that a lot of YouTubers are gradually going to be start talking about as it's soon approaching, no sooner than December the 15th, I believe, or something like that. So with the ban list, ladies and gents, obviously it's in Konami's best interests to kind of like mold it around the products that they're going to be producing and basically looking to shift over the upcoming months. And the ban list is a great opportunity to just kind of like buff some decks. So you've seen with the previous ban list, we've seen Rusty Bardiche come off the ban list to 1 again, which allowed for a lot of people to go ahead and purchase him with the intention of selling Phantom Rage, which by some stretch of the imagination, and from what's been reported by some of the more markety watch type YouTubers, has kind of flopped in terms of sales. So with that little bit of backstory, what I think is going to happen in terms of bans, I think for the most part Link Cross is going to get banned. I do not think they're going to ban Hauki Fireback as yet, and I can see the fallout in the price of Hauki Fireback going down at the moment, but I don't think they're going to ban Hauki Fireback just yet, mainly because there's still a few upcoming products with Hauki Fireback as the poster boy or the main selling point of that product. I believe, you may correct me if I'm wrong, that he's actually getting a playmat. So there's no way that he's going to be banned coming up. But what I do think will be banned, ladies and gents, is Link Cross. Link Cross is banned in the OCG, and I do believe it is a bit of an enabler, which is a little bit ridiculous in terms of what it can do. It adds a lot of ceiling to the deck, and I do believe that it's something that needs to be addressed on the ban list. And seeing as the OCG has done it, I'm not saying that we follow their format exactly, but I do believe that because of its banned in the OCG, that we will see it banned here in the TCG. Next up, I do think that Smoke Grenade of the Thief is about to get banned. You've seen Konami do this previously, as recently as Mecha Phantom Beast O-Line being released as a reprint, then just being outright banned on the next upcoming ban list, which was crazy. But I do believe that Smoke Grenade of the Thief will be something that's going to get banned, mainly because it's a little bit unfair. There's no cost to its effect. You get hand knowledge, you get a rip, and you've got a multitude of decks that are able to play it and just basically disrupt the game. And I do believe it's not good for the game where you can get your hand torn apart before you've even got a chance to play, and especially with some of the boards that are being created at the moment, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So those are my two bans. I do think that it's likely that one of those cards will get banned, but hey ho, it's definitely going to be a wait and see job. Next, for the limited section, in my opinion, I think Salamangreat Mirage Stallion should be limited. Salamangreats haven't done much. They're nowhere near as strong as they used to be. They're still a viable deck, still a great budget option, especially with the structure deck still being available somewhat. But I do think that it is a very, very powerful strategy in the right hands, and it can still do stuff. I mean, especially with the inclusion of Access Code Talker and the Transcode Talker and Update Jam at OTK, it does have great potential, ladies and gents. So I do think that Mirage Stallion, it wouldn't really change much of the game, to be honest. It would just mean that Salamangreats have a little bit more of a playable XYZ, and you might see Spinny being a bit more of an inclusion in Salamangreat decks. I also think Orcust Harp Horror, I think that Mekk-Knight Girsu was hyped up to be this new fantastic thing that's going to just push Orcust over the edge, when in fact it did very little, to be honest. And I do think that Orcust Harp Horror is largely more impactful. It doesn't break the game. I think Orcust is very fair, considering with some of the decks that we're seeing at the moment that just do completely unfair things. I don't think that Orcust has much of an unfair aspect to it. It can do some crazy things and it can grind for days, especially with the way that it plays its cards, but I don't think it's anything that would break the game. So Orcust Harp Horror to 1. I also think Thunder Dragon Colossus to 1, with the inclusion of Forbidden Droplets, 3 Tactical Talents, Forbidden Chalice, Infinite Impermanence, Effect Veiler, it's just crazy. There's loads of outs to Thunder Dragon Colossus. I know it's a little bit broken with Nemesis Corridor, but just give it us and let us see, because we've seen broken things as it is. Christian Hauke Fibrax is broken. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, he's broken. There's no way that anybody can tell me that those two cards are fair, and they are outable, obviously, but in terms of the power ceiling of the game, they are stretching the limits of it. So having Thunder Dragon Colossus, what realistically will it do in terms of the power ceiling of the overall TCG game? But hey, that is just my opinion. I also think Heavy Metal Foes Electromite should come back. Obviously, Konami have got reprints in the Metal Foes with a few new fusion monsters and a few main deck monsters coming up. So it might be in their interest to unban Heavy Metal Foes Electromite to be able to push that product a little bit more, which is something that I can actually see them do it. I mean, we've seen them do it with Rusty Bardiche, so it's quite a viable strategy for them to go ahead and do it again. So it is potentially something that they would do. And I've put a little asterisk here, and I'm thinking Zodiac Broad Bull. Yes, Zodiac Broad Bull again. I'm not too sure. It may or may not break the game. Potentially you could not include it, but I just think you might as well just give Zoo, let them do their thing for a little bit. If it becomes a little bit obnoxious, then you can always just ban it again. But with the way that some decks are comboing off and searching at the moment, does Zodiac Broad Bull actually break the game? I don't know, but potentially. And with my unlimiteds, ladies and gents, oh my days, totally awesome. I don't understand why that went to 1 as it was, and then now it's at 2. That should just basically come off the list. It's not really do much, so to speak. Let Paleo Frogs players do their thing. Let Plunder Patrols do their thing, which they only typically play totally awesome as a one-off anyway. So just let them have it. I don't think it's going to break the game in any way, shape or form. It's just another option for them to have. As well as ABC Dragon Buster again, another thing that got hit preemptively, and it's done literally 0. I mean, we're starting to have events and that now, and I actually watched a few events online. I think it was the PPG Pro Play Regional. I think Zodiac's actually won that, which was crazy. But yeah, so we're starting to see a bit more online play, so we're getting a bit more of what the meta is actually going to be looking like going forward. And to be honest, ABC Dragon Buster has not really been featured, to be honest. I don't see it breaking anything anywhere. It is a powerful card, obviously, and it has got one of the best summoning conditions, but in my opinion, it doesn't really break the meta. Well, it's broken already, but it doesn't really break it anymore, so to speak. So yeah, definitely. And another card I do believe needs to come back to 3, and I'm still baffled as to why Konami actually hit this to 1, which is Called by the Grave. Now, in my opinion, I believe that they've hit it to be able to kind of push other products, such as 3 Tactical Talents and potentially the upcoming Crossout Designator. But that card specifically is not yet here in the TCG. And Call by the Grave provides so much utility to rogue strategies is unbelievable, and having it at 1 just means that those rogue strategies are nowhere near able to compete with some of the meta strategies. Now, I'm not saying they should be by default, but if you do intend to play a rogue strategy, you can obviously put your cards in to make it a little less fragile. But I just think hitting Call by the Grave to 1 was just unnecessary, to be honest. I don't see what benefit it provided. It just means it's a little bit more luck. You may or may not be able to play through a hand trap, and I just think that it's something that should have potentially just stayed in the game. It was fine the way it was. It wasn't overplayed. It wasn't game breaking. My honest opinion is they actually limited it because they wanted to push the Phantom Rage set, and obviously a lot of the Phantom Knights resolve in graveyard, so they wanted your ability to basically play into those Phantom Rage cards and just being able to just do it unhindered, basically. And Call by the Grave was a direct counter to Phantom Knights, as it were. So yeah, I think that's the only reason why they banned it. But I do think it should just come back off the list. Just literally go back to 3. It doesn't matter. I think you can only get away with playing so many cards in a deck for it to be viable and to be competitively viable. Yes, so that's not going to be an auto inclusion in every deck, but it does give some insulation to some of those rogue strategies. So yeah, ladies and gents, what do you think? Are there any cards that I've missed out? Because I know for a fact, obviously, a lot of the ban list is driven by people's perception and opinions on the deck that they want to play. They never really take a step back and be empathetic towards the overall TCG. And to be honest, Konami just want to sell cards. That is the play. They want to sell cards, they want to have events, they want us to obviously enjoy the game, but they're a business at the end of the day, and they want to sell cards. So being able to push products and maximize their profits off those products is obviously a reason. So yeah, it is what it is. But get at me in the comment section below, ladies and gents, what cards you think could become unbanned or should be banned on the ban list. I haven't mentioned everything, obviously, and not everything is going to be meta viable, but there are some cards that potentially could come off that wouldn't really do much in terms of the way that the meta's going at the moment. So yeah, definitely get at me in the comment section below after that. Well, ladies and gents, we find ourselves at the end of another video. As always, if you did enjoy this content, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will definitely see you guys on the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.